Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 4th Annual New England Maker Summit. Thank you for joining us this morning. It appears that a lifetime has transpired since our last gathering in 2019, and I want to update you on our year here at MakerspaceCT. For those of you that are unfamiliar with us, we are a 25,000 square foot community resource. I like to describe us as the intersection between traditional trades and newer technologies. We have a professional wood shop, a CNC machining center, blacksmithing, welding, plasma cutting, textiles, jewelry making, soldering and electronics, additive manufacturing and 3D printing, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and many more. You can join us like a gym for a month or multiple months, or merely take classes and pick up a new trade or make a project. We offer day passes and week passes as well. Today, we're convening to discuss the most efficient solutions to the dwindling manufacturing workforce and how to move production forward and efficiently aligning our education system with the emerging technological economy. This is a common goal for manufacturers, educators, and entrepreneurs. COVID has sharpened our lens farther, and we're pivoting our preparations for the next workforce pipeline. We measure, define, and ultimately hire in vastly new ways. How do these emerging new needs impact education and the talent pipeline? Education and industry are working together to create new information delivery systems to move workers into the pipeline more efficiently and address the training of middle skills in our manufacturing worlds. MakerspaceCT has embraced the new collar workforce solution, which enhances accessibility, portability, and standardization of education, as well as offering digital credentialing. We'll be talking more about that later. The New England Maker Summit 2020 brings together experts in talent acquisition, manufacturing, maker movement industry leaders, entrepreneurs, educators, and curious minds to explore the critical need for the new collar workforce. MakerspaceCT is just one small piece of the solution. Today, we encourage collaboration between all levels of education, K-12 through higher ed, traditional schools, vocational and non-traditional sources, manufacturers, corporations, and government guidance to craft a clear path forward, illuminating financially sustainable careers for all of our residents and lifelong learners. Let's talk about what happened since November 2019 and how we got here today. Last fall, we became acutely aware of our ability to pivot and responding to emerging educational needs by delivering technological information to upskill and reskill our community members without onerous requirements for additional schooling credits. It was because of that agility last fall, we realized that we occupied a more important place in this ecosystem and a larger responsibility to break down barriers. Our mission here at MakerspaceCT is to positively impact lives by enabling access, education, and innovation. And our vision is to use making as a vehicle to lift up individuals and communities. Makerspaces around the world were enabled to exist because of the democratization of tools. The prices of tools were reduced so that groups of makers could purchase them and then make new innovations in a way that they had never had access to tools before. We're now entering the democratization of software with no-code coding, and we will now enable people who don't have programming skills to create apps and other projects. We've spent a lot of time talking about disruption. I would like to reframe that discussion. Maybe call it the new wave of collaboration. I'm so over disruption. Let's grow new connections. We've witnessed occurrences of one sense in our body gaining immeasurable strength when we lose another. We lose our sight, for instance, and our hearing becomes acute, almost supersonic. Our brain has created new connections. It's our important work in Connecticut to collaborate and grow stronger with new connections supporting one another. These clear pathways will work to skill up and reskill and prepare our residents for a gig economy that's already here today. MakerspaceCT offers short, high-impact, project-based learning. We must start early with clear exposure to technologies and what they can create. Non-exclusionary teaching environments with project-based learning can create and imbue our next generation with a sense of innovation, not consumerism. Let's follow that through by illustrating career paths that are attached to each specific skill acquisition and anticipated incomes. Give the next generation all the tools within easy reach to make directional decisions regarding their futures. Last fall, we decided to place more emphasis for training and workforce development along with the delivery systems. We affiliated with the New Collar Workforce. Sarah Boisvert, the founder, will be speaking in a few moments about her work. The New Collar Workforce answered all of our concerns for parsing information into different sized packets, standardizing the curriculum. An MIT affiliate will be managing the portable credentialing system, and we've got smaller learning segments that are offering more accessibility at a lower price. We're very excited to start the New Collar Workforce. We at MakerspaceCT were lucky to couple this with a program grant from NBC Universal through their Project Innovation program. And we began our first session in October called Innovation and Beyond. It's a 4-month dive into additive manufacturing or 3D printing. Our goal is to become an additive center of excellence here in Connecticut, and we're looking forward to achieving that. I can't leave you without providing a quick snapshot into our COVID experience here at MakerspaceCT. On March 16th, 2020, 7 of us gathered on a Google Hangout. Our call consisted of engineers, IT specialists, biomedical engineers, industrial designers, and business people. Before we hung up, we had decided that with our resources, we were best suited to create face shields, and we had a prototype in hand within the hour. We immediately began sourcing necessary materials and began to work with local physicians to improve the design of our prototype. We sought out networks of makers throughout the state and beyond and enlisted their help in cutting PETG for the shields. Simultaneously, MakerspaceCT became the accidental curators for the 3D printed version of the face shield. Architects, Boy Scouts, engineers, high schools, magnet and Creck schools, and elaborate multi-state groups of makers, all who had 3D printers at home, volunteered to help. We managed the STL files, made improvements at the suggestions of the physicians, and distributed these files to all of the volunteers. We collected the 3D printed frames and brought them in for post-processing and finishing, and at last we assembled them with the shield. MakerspaceCT put a donation button on our website for materials to make more face shields as the manufacturing facilities were beginning to discuss gearing up for mass production. Once again, an amazing collaboration sprung forth, and from my purchase organizer, I witnessed the organic growth and strength of our Connecticut community. The Hartford Marathon chose to list us as their charity for a spring running challenge and donated proceeds for the materials. The Avon Canton Rotary and the Jewish Federation, as well as hundreds of Connecticut residents, generously donated also. A 10-year-old girl from Simsbury named Macy decided to create a beautiful wooden red heart on a post that she managed to produce with her siblings at her father's professional wood shop, and encouraged everyone who wanted one on their lawn, thanking the healthcare workers, to donate to our PPE efforts. Her actions raised over $13,000 to buy materials for face shields for first responders and healthcare workers. MakerspaceCT donated over 12,000 face shields to our community as a result of all the incredible work from volunteers and donors coming together seamlessly, building strong new collaborations. It was magnificent to watch the generosity of each soul building upon the generosity of their neighbor. We're excited to begin today's program, and our intention and hope is to evaluate the current workforce pipeline from a 360-degree perspective and forge new pathways to collaborate, creating stronger economies, stronger inner cities, smarter entrepreneurs and innovations, and vibrant manufacturing centers with flourishing pipelines to create this all together here in Connecticut. A few notes on housekeeping. Our event will begin with 2 keynote speakers. After those keynotes, we'll break for lunchtime, and during that time, we will provide you with demonstrations online and information about what's happening at MakerspaceCT. After lunch, we'll get together and split into 3 tracks. We will then have words from our local and national governors, council representatives, and finally a panel discussion to end the day. Remember, go to NEMS Live, that's NEMS.live, for all streaming links to navigate through the day and our virtual tracks. And third, if you'd like to ask questions to any of our speakers, you can place those in the chats or email them to info@makerspacect.com. Lastly, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors who made today possible, starting with Stanley Black & Decker, CBIA, Constep, CNC Software, Mastercam, the Rutledge Family Foundation, and ReadyCT. All of our speakers and partners here in the Hartford area made today possible, and we thank them for their generous time spent with us. Please enjoy our program today. Thank you.
Support for the New England Maker Summit provided by our innovation partner Stanley Black & Decker. Additional sponsors include the Rutledge Family Foundation, Mastercam, MPH Engineering LLC, CBIA, ReadyCT, and Constep. Thank you for your support.